Hello there, I'm Thomas, the pilot flying the Boeing 737-800, the Airbus A340, the Airbus A321, and the Boeing 767-300 in this episode. So, in this episode, we're going to be flying with the Boeing 767-300 ER from Zurich International Airport back to Zurich International Airport at flight level 250 to 25,000 feet with max speed 0.8 or 320 knots approximately. And right now I'm in the cockpit for the pre-takeoff preparation, and we're gonna make an engine start demonstration, and I'm gonna make an explanation of the systems of the Boeing 767 aircraft. So here we have the cockpit. As you can see, we have the yoke with the control wheel and the rudder pedals. This control, the yoke controls the horizontal stabilizer elevator, pitching up and pitching down, and also the ailerons in each wing and the spoilers that create differential pressure between the two wings and make the aircraft turn, bank roll. And I use this Logitech Extreme 3D side stick to control these functions. Here we have the engine thrust levers over here. I use also the side stick to control the thrust levers. You can see here the engine thrust is increasing. Here is the N1, which is the low speed rotor stage of the turbofan engine, the low pressure compressor. Here is the exhaust gas temperature, 563 degrees. The N1 is 86.5%. Here we have some additional information about other systems, like I'm gonna show you the engine status now in the lower ACAS. So here we have the hydraulic quantity over here, the APU, which is off right now. The oxygen pressure 1500 psi. Here we have the system pressures in the hydraulics and the electric pumps, which they're in a full mode right now because I have not turned the switches on. Here we have the brake temperature for the landing gear, and here we have the flight controls I was showing you before. So I move the side stick to move them around, and also the rudder. So here you can see an outside view. You can see here the ailerons and the spoilers as I move the side stick or the control yoke, if you like it. So here we have the flight management computer, displayed control unit as they call it. We input all the functions of the aircraft flight for the flight of the aircraft here, like the aircraft course weight, the fuel on board, and the block fuel, and the departure and arrival airports. We have flight guidance for horizontal positioning using the GPS of the aircraft flight to create a flight plan using the nav aids and the waypoints, which are stored in the flight management computer memory. So I'm gonna show you later about that. Here we have the primary flight display horizontal situation indicator, which is an older version of that. The navigation display I'm gonna show you in a while. Here is the airspeed indicator we're gonna use, which is an old fashioned one for this aircraft. Here is the airspeed pack we're gonna set in the autopilot over here. We have it already 200 knots. as you can see. And the same is for the altitude indicator. We have it at 10,000 feet right now. And the heading indicator over here. And we have the autopilot flight control unit, as you can see over here with the modes. I'm gonna use various buttons from during the flight for controlling the aircraft flight path, and also the auto thrust mode over here. We have the APR and the flight director and the auto thrust arm switch here, which is going to control the thrust automatically. You can see the reverse thrust when I'm lifting up the switch. You can see the reverse thrusts are engaged. Now I'm gonna close all the reverse thrust. Here, turn on and off. Here we have the speed brake lever, the flaps lever. I'm gonna set them at 0 for engine start. So here is the altitude, the barometric altitude above sea level, the vertical speed in feet per minute, our global our resolute time, as they call it, our watts. And here we have a backup indicator, airspeed indicator, and backup altimeter. So here's the overhead panel. We have the hydraulic section over here. It's a little bit different from the other Boeing's aircraft. Here's the air data and inertial reference system display unit. I'm gonna turn this on maybe. You can see I will set it to the align in a while. So I'm gonna start first the APU. We have the APU here. The battery is on. I'm gonna make an engine start demonstration. The battery is on. The standby power is in the auto position. This is the electrical section of the aircraft display, so I'm gonna try to be fast. I'm gonna turn the APU on, which is the auxiliary power unit we're gonna use for starting the aircraft. And here we have it running. We can see it here starting. APU exhaust gas temperature and the rotations per minute. Here we have it in the maximum, so we can turn off the engines now. Here we have the fuel panel. Over here, the fuel pumps, one for each left wing tank, right wing tank, and center tank, and the crossfeed. So I'm gonna. Maybe we need a little bit more light. I'm not sure. Yeah. So I'm gonna turn off the engines now, maybe. Somewhere we have some floodlight. A little bit more light here. Here we have it. So I'm gonna turn off the engines. I'm gonna turn off the engine master switches. This is gonna close the low and the high pressure fuel valves, fuel into the engines. So you can see it here, the engine start. We have no spinning in the engine. So I'm gonna use the APU first. Maybe we have it in the on, off. We need this in the auto, maybe. Yeah. The demand. The primary, you can see the engines now are off. The primary left and right engine hydraulic pumps are off right now. So, and the electricals are in the auto mode. So here is the electric engine controller. It's in the alternate right now. Here's the yacht number. So I'm gonna turn on some of these pumps because we're gonna need them for engine start. We can use them the crossfit if we want. So I'm gonna use the APU I was telling you. The packs, left and right packs are off, which is the engine, the APU bleed system right now, supplying pressurizer into the system. So I'm gonna turn them, the engine on, left engine on, right engine on. We're in the off mode right now. So the isolation. So maybe we need a little bit more of this pressurizer. I'm not sure we can start the engines right now, but I'm gonna give it a try. So I'm gonna use the engine start selectors in the ground. We need the pressurizer. So turn off pumps. Left pack, it should be enough. So oh, here we have it. We have pressurizer now into the system for the left engine, I guess. So, or the right engine. Yeah, it just started pressurizing the air into the engine starter. So if we come here, we're gonna see the left engine start. Here we have the engine spinner. We have the APU on, so we need. Here we have all the engine displays. Here is the N2, which is the high pressure compressor stage of the engine. It's 25%, so we can start the engine start selectors to the on, start the fuel flow into the engine. The N1 is a low pressure compressor fan state, which is 4% right now, and the exhaust gas temperature is just 11 degrees. So we have some fault messages over here from some systems. So you can see the left engine is initiating right now. So we're gonna use this lever right here, this switch, to start the fuel into the engine, the fuel flow. As you can see, the engine starts rapidly. Here we have the engine spinning. So maybe I'm gonna come here into this overhead panel, set them to the align. This is going to initiate the RS alignment that we need for having displaying the map here. So I'm gonna do now the next thing for the right engine. We come here in the engine start selector, we have the ignition set to the both, so I'm gonna use the right engine now and see if we need to use the other side isolation. So I'm gonna turn off the left isolation and use the right isolation. So we're gonna have the right engine now. Start engine start valve. And here we have it. As you can see, Gen 1, the exhaust gas temperature, you can see the difference between the left engine working and the right engine still not working. So we have 24% N2, which is a high pressure compressor stage, so I'm gonna use the right side engine on, start valve, engine master switch, which is gonna start open the low and the high pressure fuel valves into the engine's combustion chamber. So here we have it, we have both engines working. We're ready to take off in a while. So I'm gonna try to make this very fast for this flight. So I'm gonna use this in the auto, the hydraulics, and the electrical on. This is in the alternate, I don't know why. Oh, we have it in the normal. Electric engine controllers. The yaw damper, we can leave them in the off. So time 155. I don't know why it displays this. So maybe I should. Oh, we have it. We have the RS aligned. We're ready almost to take off. So I'm gonna turn the packs. Maybe leave the packs off for the takeoff stage, but we can leave them on also to supply the anti-ice system. So we're gonna let the engine compressor flow into the system, and the left and the right engine. So we can see we have pressurized air, and here we have the camping pressure section. I'm gonna take it later. So I'm gonna set the camping altitude here to the landing altitude of the airport, which is 1,300 feet approximately. So I'm gonna set this later, maybe after takeoff. We'll do this fast. So 1,300, maybe 1,400. So this is going to control the cabin pressurization system. So we have it in the auto mode right now. We have 2 selectors for auto and 1 for manual, like the Boeing 737. 1, 2, yeah, here. Auto 1, auto 2, which is the alternate, and the manual. And here we have the outflow valve position, which is open or closed. For climb is closed, and for descent is open. And the rate. And here we have the cabin pressure display. So I'm gonna talk to you later about that. So maybe we need some anti-ice. Yeah, the wing and the engines are the ice on. We have the lights on. So I'm gonna use flaps for takeoff and set the flight manuals and computer over here, the flight plan. So we have our gross weight, which is going to be set maybe automatically, I'm not sure. It's about 298,000 pounds, if I remember well. So zero fuel weight is 251,000 pounds, and we have about 40,000 pounds of fuel, 47,000. So we have our reserves 5 for this flight. Gonna set everything here in this flight management computer. I hope you can see it, because sometimes we have no good view with this model, with this aircraft. So I'm gonna try to do this very fast. So cruise altitude 250, 35,000 feet, and cosine 100 for this flight. So center of gravity cruise is 25%. So I'm gonna use the stop trim over here, set up my trim for the horizontal stabilizer. So everything is fine for the takeoff. We only need to create the flight plan. So we're gonna have the flight plan displayed over here in the navigation display map, and we're gonna have in the radar on. I can turn, I think, the radar on. WXR. So we're gonna have the traffic on. 40 miles away. TCAS off. We're gonna turn the TCAS on, the traffic collision alert system. So I'm gonna have some aircraft displayed, and here we have airport and maybe waypoints. So I'm gonna set the flight plan now. The route, which is Lszh Zurich International back to Zurich International. So runway 16, I'm gonna leave this right like that, and then use departure arrival here. Departure 16 through Zui 1 right. So we have the same departure and arrival like in the other aircraft. So maybe LS14 Negria 1 Alpha Transamic. I'm gonna make the same flight plan. So So I'm going to activate that. Now you can see the flight plan here. We have the primary flight display, which is very primary. It's almost 30 years old, maybe even more. So I'm gonna press the activate here to activate the flight plan and the execute. So here we're ready for takeoff, as you can see, and follow the flight path. Maybe make only the flap and the center of gravity. We have the thrust reference, which is 128, V1, V rotate 133, and V2 142, and the center of gravity, I'm not sure if we can have it maybe set it at 25%. Okay, maybe I'm gonna set 25. Yeah, so here we have the trim position for the 25% linear dynamic chord. So we have like 27 more minutes for this flight, so I'm gonna be as fast as I can. We have the autopilot set here with the auto thrust arm and the flight directors on. We have our initial climb altitude, our heading. I'm gonna use the LNAV for heading, which is the later navigation. You can see the displays here change because we're gonna have the ILS tune. I'm gonna use the ILS localizer. I'm gonna use the LNAV. Somewhere I have the ILS here, and so now I'm gonna come here. Maybe I can show you the radar display. The ceiling height, I'm gonna use a little bit more than that. So TCAS failed, so we will need to take off to have everything set. So I'm gonna start the takeoff process now. We're here at runway 16. So the only thing we have to do right now is I'm gonna use this view for a wing view. So I'm gonna use the landing glides maybe. And advance the thrust levers all the way up into the takeoff go around position and disconnect the parking brakes. We have this airspeed set at 200 knots, which is higher than the airspeed we need for takeoff, and I'm going to increase it after takeoff. So here we are 159 knots. We can take off now. Retract the landing gear. You can see this navigation displays engine over here, and the primary flight display. So we're gonna use this indicator for the airspeed, 5. We have to increase a little bit thrust lever. Our altitude right now is 5,500 and keep increasing with 3,000 feet per minute vertical speed over here. So we have another 24 minutes for this flight, so I have to be fast. You can see a view of the Boeing 767 aircraft outside you. Oh, you can see the flight director here. Maybe decrease a little bit the range to make it a little bit more easily to view. You can see the flight path we're gonna follow for this flight. You need to turn a little bit, so maybe add some airspeed and increase the altitude also. We're at 11,000 feet with our airspeed 140 knots right now. We need to decrease the rate of climb to increase the airspeed. So trying to turn the radar on. I don't know why it doesn't. We need to pay attention to the airspeed indicator, so I have to increase the airspeed a lot, maybe decrease the rate of climb, but we only have 21 minutes to go for this flight. So we have flaps at 5, which is okay. We can use flaps 1 to increase the airspeed. You can see the vertical speed here. I'm gonna try to keep it at 1,000 feet per minute, maybe 2,000 feet per minute. Our airspeed right now, it's max 0.59, 0.6. It's increasing rapidly because we keep level and retract the landing gear and flap. Oh, we're increasing our altitude at 16,800. Our airspeed is already very close to 290 knots over here. 0.55 Mach. It's a very fast aircraft, I like that. 17,300 feet, keep increasing. You can see here our altitude, 19,000 feet, vertical speed 3,000 feet per minute. We're gonna be like in 2.5 minutes in our set altitude, target altitude. I'm gonna set this at 25,000 feet. It's very painful using the salt knobs. It takes too much time to get all the way up. And we only have 13 and 18 minutes to go. So here we cross into the 1,000 feet. You can see our flight path here. You can see some airports around us and some waypoints displayed. It's a very good map display. You can see the mode here in the auto thrust system is on the flight director, the altitude hold, and the later navigation. So maybe we're gonna have some chemtrails in a while. Oh, here we have it. Chemtrails. We need another 12.5, 17 minutes to go into the airport. You can see the Boeing 767. Very beautiful aircraft. So it's very old, but still looking good. You can see the chemtrails line here being created. So maybe I'm gonna take the turn in a while before coming back into the airport. So I'm gonna start bank rolling. And here we are very close at our target altitude that I was telling you before. So we have the engine indications here, the thrust lever position. We keep climbing a little bit to the 25,000 feet while turning back into the airport. We only have 15 minutes to go. 5 minutes. You see a very nice turn here over Zurich. Here we have Germany. We are overflying Germany on this side and here. So we are 25,300 as you can see. I'm gonna try to hold it level of the vertical climb indicator, vertical speed indicator, as you can see, using the yoke here. as much as I can. So we're gonna try to bankroll our aircraft. Our airspeed is very high, it's 320 knots. Retract the flaps. 300, yeah, 300 knots. Max 0.689. So make a bigger turn into the airport. You can see how perfectly level we hold at 25,000 feet. So maybe use direct 2 into the airport in a while. We're gonna need use the last waypoint. For flying direct into the airport. So I'm gonna try. We have 13 minutes to go, so we need to go fast back into the airport. We overspeed a little bit. Max 0.7. Yeah, we need a little bit of this airspeed. 0.79. Max 0.8 almost. Yeah, 0.8. Maybe 0.81 or 2. So maybe waypoints we don't need. I'm gonna make this a little bit more clear into the map display. So we're gonna fly direct into the airport, final fix. We're quite close, I think, so we're gonna start descending in a while. We're only 40 miles away from the airport and we need another 11 minutes to go. So we're gonna start descending. I'm going to increase our thrust over here. We have some overspeed warning over here, but it's okay, we need to get fast. We have not much time, only 11 minutes left for this video. So we're gonna make a fast kind of landing like we did the other time. So maybe use the speed brakes a little bit to slow down the aircraft. You can see a little bit more brighter the displays in this night indication. You can see the altitude here decreasing, our rate of descent is quite high. We need to descend like a fighter jet for this landing to make it just on time. We're still going fast with Mach 0.68, but we are 20 nautical miles away from our fix, so we have another 10 minutes to go. Gonna make a shortcut for this landing. So increase the range here. See a little bit more better display of the maps. You can see our altitude here is 10,000 feet decreasing, so I'm gonna decrease our vertical speed a little bit. We're a little bit further away from the final fix. We need like 8 more minutes to finish this video, so I'm gonna try to get there as fast as I can. So I'm gonna decrease the airspeed here. Runway 14, so here we have it. We are very close to the runway. We have descended our final approach path. So decrease the airspeed and use maybe some flaps right now. Here we have the runway over here. So here's the runway. We're gonna land. We have another 6 minutes to go. We are very close to the runway. This is good. So I'm gonna start using the flaps to slow down the aircraft and the speed brake. You can see the runway here in the aircraft. I'm gonna use the landing gear now as we are approaching the runway. Use a little bit more flaps. Oh, we are in a good position to land. We only need to descend a little bit and align ourselves with the runway. So we have 5 minutes to go for this landing. Four minutes to go. I think we're gonna make it quite well. Use full flaps. So we have another 4 minutes for this flight. So we're gonna make it to the runway. So here we are. We just landed. Use the reverse thrust and the parking brakes. This is the Boeing 767. Just landed in the Zurich International Airport. As you can see, made a very good landing. You can see the landing gear. The tires here are fine, and the landing gear is through. And here the nose wheel also. There is no tires blown or missing parts. I'm gonna show you a nice view of the airport. So we have another 2 minutes for this flight to go. So that was Thomas, the pilot, flying the Boeing 767-300ER for this flight. We just landed at Zurich International Airport, so it was a very good flight and very good landing. We did the whole flight manually. I did display an explanation of most of the systems of the Boeing 767-300 model as much as we can in one video. So I'm gonna see you on the next flight. I don't know when and with what aircraft yet. So thank you very much for joining me for this flight. See you next time. Okay, bye bye. Thank you very much. Bye bye. See you next flight. Bye.